I think we have a topic that is at the heart of the education system in many ways, and with your expertise and the insights that you bring, we'll quickly dwell into some of those questions. In the group chat that we had earlier, I saw that there were some questions preferred. So let me put a very generic question to start with. Maybe we can start with Dr. Ritika Wason, with you first. Can you give me a sense of what are the best practices according to you that we should adopt to bring a greater collaboration where a vernacular, addition to education can make it more relevant? Can you just throw an initial overview on this before we go to many specific questions?
Thank you for the question, Ruhail. And see, when we talk of this vernacular education move, which has been envisioned by the National Education Policy 2020, I would also like to bring this to the notice of the House that if we talk of technical education in India, English historically has been the primary language of focus for technical education when we talk about it. So this is a big challenge for a country like India, which has a population close to 1.45 billion, where the student and the learner, they are coming, I would say, from different vernacular backgrounds, and the level of proficiency of English among all these learners, it varies significantly. So I think this was the challenge that was identified by the makers of the National Education Policy when they actually envisioned this concept of vernacular languages at all levels of education, and they promoted development of high quality higher education institutions which could actually teach bilingually or in vernacular modes. So I think that has been the main policy behind that. But again, when talking about this vernacular education move, though we have a few exemplary examples like IIT, I would say Jodhpur has already started a BTech course in English and Hindi. But when I talk about this particular move, it's a big challenge. And this challenge actually requires working at various levels, be it policy making, be it curriculum designing, be it collaboration between universities to make available the vernacular language experts, or be it collaboration with technology so that the technological initiatives can be brought forward to bring the trainers on board as well as the students on board. So yes, this is a big challenge, but I would say it's a great move in a country like India where we have a lot of innovation, but that innovation needs to be trapped at the grassroots level itself.
Right. Can I request everyone to kind of pay attention, because I could hear some murmurs here on stage. Is quite, can hear it very starkly. Dr. Gaur, to you, what are some of the observations on the campus that you have seen closely when people are from a certain rural background, and they are coming to terms with a language that is global in its outlook? Have you ever noticed that there is a gap that we really need to focus on the vernacular kind of an approach? Have you really felt at a need for this? I just want to understand from you.
Yes, I mean, we are in a country where English is seen as a success of an individual in a larger part of the country. So we teach in a business school or in engineering institution where students are coming from remote backgrounds, right? They may be good in analytics, they may be good in mathematics, but they lack English. And unfortunately, if a student is lacking in English, we judge him on the based off his language. So this move of taking care of his own language into the academics, I think it's a great move. It was needed, I would say much needed. Not coming to the topic, if you allow me, right? Global gates and local voice. So we live in a world we call globalization. We have to take care and we have to spread our horizon, spread our wings. so that global integration can happen. But not to forget our own roots. So kind of education system that can back our own roots thanks to this, the back of Indian knowledge system, and this global integration is much needed. Rather than taking things out to in, we should promote inside out, promoting our own roots and Indian knowledge system to the world. Maybe this could be an approach.
But the world should also understand that language, you know, that's also a challenge. We'll come to it. Let me start with you, Dr. Garg, and then I'll have my final comment, you know. Is there any example from your institution where vernacular approach is being practiced and it has kind of delivered some results?
I think vernacular teaching is in our practice.
I think you can be closer to yourself, yeah.
Okay, now it is okay, sir? I would like to answer your question once again after we finish this panel discussion that you have asked in the previous panel. Okay, I think we are practicing the vernacular teaching pedagogy since inception, because we are not good in English at the school levels also and at the engineering level also. I have done my 12th from UP board Hindi medium, and I did my BTech, then ME, then PhD, then postdoctoral. All is in English, but gradually I learn English. I did my work in English, and I can explain my ideas or my topics in English. So it is saying this, we are adopting it now. It is since inception we are doing the same thing, and it is the only thing that we have not given it a proper platform. Now the government is giving it a platform, that BTech in Hindi, in computer science. AICT has launched a course for it. AICT has launched a course. Some institutes, private institutes, I belong to private institute, working in private institutions of engineering from last 18 years. And from starting, I am seeing in my BTech also, the teachers were teaching Hindi. The main topic that has been discussed is in Hindi, and then it is translated to English. So it is our practice. So he is saying this, we cannot survive without using that approach, bilingual practice. It is in our roots and we are doing it. The basic thing is that our development was slow because we have focused very much on the English language.
Right. Absolutely. I think the obsession we have for English, even the English don't have that obsession with English. You know,
we
that's
are
sad.
teaching.
That's sad. And we feel so embarrassed, you know, that we don't know English. Russia, in a country like France, if they don't speak, they're okay. But I think we have taken it we have a colonial legacy maybe because of that, right? You want to add a point? You want to add something?
Yes, I want to add on to that because very important to cite over here, right? If you look at the developed countries, right? Most of the developed countries, they transit, they talk, they communicate in their own language. And if you look at the countries at the bottom, they're the countries they don't proud on their own language. One point. Number two, you said that how institutions are taking care of vernacular language. I give my own example. I come from a very small village. 30 class में ABCD पढ़ना शुरू किया था. वो सब उस तरह के example से हम आते हैं. So I have taken this initiative in my business school. मेरे को innovation पढ़ाना है ना, तो मैं innovation को उस language में पढ़ाऊंगा, संस्कृत में पढ़ाएंगे. इनोवेशन जैसे सब्जेक्ट को मैं इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम से हमने पढ़ाना शुरू किया है. सो फॉर दैट एग्जांपल अगर मैं उसको रेफर करता हूं तो इनोवेशन को समझाने के लिए वी स्टार्टेड टेलिंग जो गीता का सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट वर्ड्स है, वशंस जीर्णानि यथा विहाय, कि आत्मा अजर है, अमर है. जिस तरीके से मनुष्य पुराने वस्त्रों को त्याग करके नए वस्त्रों को धारण करता है, उसी तरीके से आत्मा दूसरे शरीर में प्रवेश करती है. नाउ वी लिंक इट टू द इनोवेशन. हाउ बिग स्कूल इट हैज़ बीन टू टेल होल वर्ल्ड. मैंने इसलिए कहा था कि हम अपनी परंपरा को पूरी दुनिया को लेकर के जाएं, तभी तो ग्लोबल ग्रिड्स में हम जाएंगे. मैंने कहा कि जिस तरीके से कृष्णा ने कहा कि पुराने वस्त्रों को त्याग करके नए वस्त्रों का धारण करता है, उसी तरीके से कृष्णा कह रहे हैं कि पुराने थॉट्स, पुराने आइडियाज़, पुरानी टेक्नोलॉजी, उसको त्याग करके मनुष्य को परस्पर निरंतर लगातार इनोवेशन के लिए प्रेरित करना पड़ेगा, जिसमें जीवन निहित है. तो ये छोटे छोटे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं जो हम ग्लोबल इंटीग्रेशन अपनी जो लोकल वॉइस के साथ कर सकते हैं.
Absolutely, but I mean, हम अगर संस्कृत में पढ़ाते हैं तो फिर कल को नासा में जाएंगे तो एक प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करेंगे. We'll come to those points. You know, how do we have a universal language in the institution that is globally accepted at the same time? I want to come to you.
प्रॉब्लम तो ये ना, नासा में जाएंगे, इसरो में क्यों नहीं जाएंगे?
Okay, let's face it.
जब तक हम ये सोच रखेंगे ना, सिर्फ डिस्कशंस होंगे. आई एम सॉरी, सिर्फ डिस्कशन होंगे.
Sure. We'll have a follow-up question on it. So let me come to you, Mr. Valliappa. Do you think we have a symbolic inclusion to systemic change when it comes to embedding regional languages? Is it surface level or is it really deep down having some impact?
Yeah, so good afternoon everybody, and good to be here though after lunch, and we are warmed up now. Just to I think a lot have been said during the day about AI and technology and stuff like that, and now we're getting to languages. So I think English took away a lot. They took away millions and millions. The only asset they left back is English. And that is where the technology has grown today. If you see, I come from a city of Bangalore. We have more than 65% doing English language. That's an asset today. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn other languages. At the same time, at the background of this, over the last 10 years, Sona College of Technology is amongst India's greatest asset in terms of teaching Japanese to the engineering students. Today, we have more than 250 students of ours working in Japan at a very high rate of salaries. So it's not the question of what language you know, it's a question of how much it makes for you. The salaries that the Japanese are giving is unparalleled to Indian technology. Coming back to the thing that you're talking about, how we could develop this into a thing. So yesterday, all the government decisions or letters are given by the local language. It could be Kannada and Karnataka, Tamil Nadu Tamil, and then here maybe Hindi. But then my daughter is 14 years old, so she took the letter, she used Google Translate, and she gave it to me immediately. So I think today technology becoming more and more apt. So you have the bots which can give you immediately. So what I'm trying to say is the technology is going to be a great leveler for languages going henceforth.
I think the entire approach to teaching with tech will change, because today if I have to translate anything in any language, you can do it within seconds, right?
And just as we speak, I think Google yesterday launched a platform where Sundar Pichai was talking about 2 days ago. And I think it's an immediate AI recognition thing. So you speak to it and it will give you back in whatever language you want or you have.
Yeah, wonderful. Dr. Wason, how can shared labs and dual degree programs integrate vernacular curricula to boost small town enrollment according to you?
Thank you for the question. See, when it comes over to shared labs, again I would say it is again shared labs are industry sponsored labs. So when you talk about these industry sponsored lab, and we have some very prominent and I would say successful industry sponsored lab which are actually doing great work in vernacular technology as well as it in rural India. See, what we need is we have a lot of innovation in our grassroots population. We need to bring them up. We need to push them towards thinking. You talk of tools, technology, you talk of language, I think they can pick it up very quickly. So when you talk of these shared labs, the best part of these shared labs is that yes, you are getting the current information. You are having industry experts who may come to you in a blended mode, maybe online, maybe offline, as the possibility may be, and they will give you, I would say, updated information about that current technology. So as such, these shared labs are a wonderful idea which are being pushed by the government, which have been taken up by a number of, I would say, industries, like we have this Infosys Springboard program, we have IBM Skills Build program. They are doing wonders, I would say, especially in the rural and the semi-urban areas of the country. So a lot of the learner population, which I would say could not access technical education due to absence of resources, due to no knowledge of the language, are now coming up, and these new technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence we have been talking of for so long, these are becoming accessible to all of them. And using these technologies, what I would say is the most important is that this population can actually find sustainable solutions to the local problems they are facing at the places where they are residing. So that way these technologies, I would say industry sponsored labs are doing great work.
Wonderful, wonderful. Dr. Gaur, you know, we have an ocean of knowledge in India. We have an ancient civilization. Leave the language aside, you know, it is immaterial. Why is it that our colleges, our higher education institutions have not produced people who have built a global product? What is the reason for it from an expert perspective? Just to add to your earlier answer.
सर देखिए प्रॉब्लम थोड़ा अलग है यहाँ पर. आइडियली क्या होना चाहिए, बेस्ट ब्रेन ऑफ द कंट्री मस्ट कम इनटू टीचिंग. दैट डजंट हैपन. दैट डजंट हैपन. सो
But you guys are the best brains in front of me.
Listen, the tendency of a student, the best brain doesn't want to come into teaching. Exceptions aside. Why? Because maybe उतना incentivize नहीं है teaching, maybe उतना facilities नहीं है, maybe could be that. Since हमारा वो thought process और attitude ही नहीं है best लाने का. बाकी जो डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज है वहाँ पर अगर आप देखेंगे जिन कंट्रीज का आप प्रेफरेंस देना चाह रहे हैं, प्रोबेबली द बेस्ट ब्रेन कम्स टू टीचिंग. तो जब वो एटीट्यूड ही नहीं है तो सर वो प्रॉब्लम तो रहेगी.
एंड हाउ कैन वी फिक्स इट? एनी सजेशन?
आई थिंक इट मस्ट स्टार्ट फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव्स, इजंट इट? गवर्नमेंट इनिशिएटिव का आप प्रायोरिटाइज करना शुरू करिए. टीचिंग को आप मोस्ट इंसेंटिवाइज्ड प्रोफेशन बनाइए, फिर देखिए चेंज होता है कि नहीं होता.
Wonderful point.
Sir, I want to add in it. Now the practice, in the last panel discussion, there was discussion on the professor of practice. The industry peoples who are, who want to give their inputs for teaching has been, government has done their job now. Now they have opened the UGC and AICT to appoint professor of practice. That has come, and this will help the improve the quality of teaching. But it will take time, because when a thing is added to the system, it takes time to get absorbed, and a proper output comes after 10 to 15 years only. As the national education policy we are talking of in 2020, many things, multidisciplinary concept has been started in 2012. The IoT was introduced in the engineering college and was given to all students. In my college I have introduced IoT for all branches. When in my previous college I have started the IoT lab. And the teachers who are teaching that IoT, they comes from different engineering groups, and they have developed themselves in that area. So government has given you the platform now, and it will support this system, but it will take time to get the desired output.
So you're saying we have started, but the impact will be felt with time, right?
Let me just add to that. I think the blended teaching, we're talking about blended education. I think blended teaching is the name of the game today. As we speak, we've been in touch with top industry players in Bangalore and across GCC sectors today. we find that more than 70% of the industry people want to come and teach. So instead of we creating teachers who can also go to the industry people want to come and teach. So we are looking at a finishing school in Bangalore, which is going to be run 65% from industry. And that is going to be something where on the concept I keep using, a person who makes the plane doesn't fly the plane. So the person who teaches doesn't run the company, and the person who runs the company doesn't teach. So if you have a blend of both,
right.
So you know both sides of the coin, and that would give you a much better hands-on experience. Like we talk about students having hands-on experience. How many teachers have hands-on experience in the industry? So we, as a matter of fact, we say engineering. So we've coined the spelling engineering, N-E-R-A-N-G. So you have to be near the engines. So otherwise, the teachers are not going to be there to teach exactly what is required for the students.
I think you raise a very profound point. I mean, that's a very matter of introspection for all of us. Ma'am, let me ask you, we spoke about tech. Tech has changed our approach to the vernacular integration, as we say. Are there any kind of live case examples or used case examples where the AI, the translation tools, they are really impacting the way vernacular is being integrated in the campus?
Absolutely, there are many such examples. Like if you talk of translation tools, we have this Microsoft Translator tool, which is gaining a lot of popularity nowadays. So what generally happens now? I was talking about students; they are coming from the grassroots level. So all these students, they do not have the same level of, I would say, English background. And when you talk of technology-based tutorials, good tutorials, there remains a fact that good tutorials are still available in English. So in that case, the students nowadays, they are easily using the translator tool. I would say within a few seconds, they are translating it to their understanding, they are implementing it, and they are getting out solutions. So that way, AI-based tools, and I would say this learning age is very fast in grasping all these tools and technologies. So they very easily make up with the tool. They just need to know that, okay, this tool is available for a solution to this particular problem. And they'll implement it, they'll get the solution, and they'll come to you that, okay, ma'am, we have the solution ready. So that is the point. But over here, the most important point is that you need to guide them properly. That, okay, have a look around you, where is the problem around you, try to find a solution to that problem, and we need to integrate that into our courses. Right. So that is the main point that is coming.
So it's no longer a handicap, I mean, as long as you know how to use the tools.
No, not at all. I'll give you an example from one of my previous students. He was coming from a rural background, and he was not very well versed with English. And within the course, he was, obviously English was the medium of communication. He tried himself, but he could never, I would say, score very well, though he was technically sound. And the same student, after passing out, he went back to his home background. He launched an MSME because we had given him guidance for that. He launched an MSME, and today he is a budding entrepreneur who is giving a number of localized solutions, and he is doing very well, not just for himself, but his local community. So that is the point what I would like to bring out, that even if we talk about global solutions, we somewhere have those Indian minds. The only, I would say, gap we have over here is that we need to train all our young minds so that we have more of that innovation and research. So that can only be made popular once we break this language background. I'm not saying that we should just leave away English. Let's include it into that multilinguistic framework. Absolutely. We need to have a well-binded framework where language is no longer a limitation. So that is the main point that should be there.
So if you see today's generation, I think language is not at all a major factor. It's more experiential learning, it's more fun learning, gamification, tech-based solutions, and of course machine-based connectivity. Alexas of the world are becoming more and more prominent. As a matter of fact, 80% of the youngsters use Alexas much more than a 30-year-old or something like that. So I think what the world is going through is a change today, and I think India is probably the most well-placed country in both academia as well as in the terms of growth, the GDP as well as the economy, as well as we probably have one of the strongest governments today thanks to the ecosystem today. And this is where the defense sector will give huge jobs to the future. I think the connect with education as a superpower can only be taken if we really think that we are superpower and start looking at ourselves as a powerful entity to go forward with. That's what I would say.
I want to ask a question to Mr. Gaur, Dr. Gaur, and then come to you. Yeah. If we look at startups, India has a robust startup ecosystem and corporations adopting engineering campuses, as hubs of multilingual industry aligned upskilling centers. What are the best, any word of advice for them? How can they integrate with campuses to do that? Startups, corporations, yes.
Incubators.
Right. So we often said that to be a bullfighter, you must learn to be a bull first, right? So I think it is an ideal condition that the startup ecosystem in the engineering colleges or institutions, they should go hand in hand with the people who are experiencing that. The decision maker of universities and colleges, they must put forward, they have to keep their egos aside. No matter how small this startup is a startup, because one startup, even if it is a failure, give a lot of learning. So usually what happens, we go integration with the startup, we think from the branding perspective. We have this name in our bucket, we have this name in the bucket. So we have to keep this factor aside. Every startup, whosoever has taken his step out, taking a venture, should jointly work with engineering or institutions. This could be an approach. हमको वो जो approach है ना कि हमारे basket में कौन सा brand है, वो जब हम सोचते हैं ना अपनी branding के लिए, वो अलग रखना पड़ेगा. एक तो ये चीज़ होना चाहिए. दूसरा ये it was there before in previous panel also. और सर ने भी वो सवाल पूछा था कि हम नहीं बात करते startups की, हम बात करते हैं कितना देते हैं, मतलब highest placement कितने student का वो सवाल.
The ads also don't show they show the salary also. The ads in the
और उधर से जवाब भी आया था, and I think that's right कि हम वही बेचते हैं जो खरीदने वाला मिलता है. तो लेकिन हम बेच नहीं रहे, हम तो एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन से हमको पथ प्रदर्शक माना जाता है. अगर हम बेच रहे हैं तो हम बंद कर रहे हैं पथ प्रदर्शक कहना अपने आप को, isn't it? So the best universities can start saying this. कुछ जो बी ग्रेड इंस्टीट्यूशंस की वो मजबूरी हो सकती है, अपने आप को प्लेसमेंट बेच रहे, लेकिन जो टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं जिनको एडमिशन की प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो तो प्राउडली बोल सकते हैं ना कि हमने स्टार्टअप फेल स्टार्टअप है लेकिन स्टार्टअप बेच रहे. तो ये थोड़ा माइंडसेट कुछ चीज़ें होंगी तो मुझे लग रहा है बदलाव आएगा. और सर भाषा को लेकर के मैं ये बात सबको बोल देना चाहता हूँ, मेरा ये व्यक्तिगत पीड़ा है कि हम डेवलपमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं, हम सब अपने बच्चों को जो पढ़ा रहे हैं बेस्ट एजुकेशन दे रहे हैं. और बेस्ट एजुकेशन ऐसी है कि हम बच्चे से जब पूछते हैं बच्चा 35 क्या होता है, वो नहीं जानता. अगर मेरे बच्चे को ये 35, 34, 36 का मतलब नहीं पता तो खुद से पूछ ले, क्या ये भारत वो भारत बन जाएगा जिसकी हम कल्पना कर रहे हैं. हम हायर एजुकेशन में तो बात करते हैं इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम की, इंटीग्रेशन की, और प्राइमरी एजुकेशन में हम उसको 35-36 नहीं सिखा रहे. मैं अपना उदाहरण दे रहा हूँ सर, आधी उम्र मुझे ये प्रूव करने में लग गई कि मेरे को इंग्लिश आती है. और जब ये प्रूव कर दिया, क्योंकि ग्रेजुएशन तक कुछ नहीं आता था, ना हिंदी आती थी ना इंग्लिश आती थी, जब ये प्रूव कर दिया तो ये महसूस हो रहा है कि अब मेरे को संस्कृत सीखना है ना. जितना मैं एफर्ट कर रहा हूँ उसी दिशा में कर रहा हूँ.
I'm being so genuine. I mean, this is amazing. We need more people like that. So you wanted to add a point, right? Or
I want to add that it is very painful when a student leaves the course due to the pressure of English. And there are cases.
Are there any such cases?
Yes, sir, there are cases. I have 18 years working as director in different organizations, and the students coming from core rural background, they leave courses. 2 or 3 cases would be coming to every institute of private institution I'm talking about, not of the government institutions. They are leaving their program due to pressure of English, and they are not able to write their question papers. But it is the failure of our system, our thinking process, and our faculty members who are not giving them a sincere support, because English language is learning in English language, writing in English. It is a matter of 1 month time when you join an engineering program. It will take only 1 month, 1 or 2 months sincere efforts from the student, supported by the faculty, he can or she can do wonders. The basic problem is that we are not supporting our students who are from rural background, and we are more focused on the 35% population of the cities, because they are habitual of teaching that.
You spoke about startups. So the startups today, if you look at academia, AICT and universities and others spend so much of time, effort and money on putting things the infrastructure side. So we had an infrastructure before this panel. So the infrastructure is used 18% of the time. 82% of all education institutes infrastructure is not being used. So if you take that as an asset and build that into a next opportunity for people, industry to come and use a shared services, you spoke about shared services. So this could be a huge opportunity for rural India to really utilize education platforms across the country and take it into a much bigger aspect. And these are all things which could come through a startup ecosystem, through a company or a college supported as well.
No, I think what I can gather is that we are not lacking in terms of infra or other such facilities. I think the mindset at play has to improve to make sense of that infra that we have. But thank you for joining us on this wonderful discussion and sharing your insights. Thank you so much.